Hello, I'm Karen Swann and I am the author of The Tale of the Whale, which has been beautifully illustrated by Padmacandra. And I wanted to say a huge thank you to the organisers of the Spark Children's Book Awards for putting The Tale of the Whale on their shortlist for picture books. The great thing about Spark Children's Book Awards is that it gets to be voted on by the children, and the children of Kingston and Richmond get to vote on their favourites and choose their own winners, which I think is a fabulous thing. So I'm delighted to be here today to tell you a little bit about The Tale of the Whale and how it came to be. Now, I wanted to write a story about plastic pollution and the effect that this was having on the wildlife and our oceans. I was hoping that if I wrote a story, it would give children everywhere the chance to start conversations about environmental issues and with other people and with adults and grown-ups in their lives, because children are fab at making people think. And it was pretty much the whale that told me that they wanted to be in the story. They gave me a line in my head that was something about there not being enough room in all of the oceans for all of this plastic and them. And the story kind of went from there. And the child is important too in the story, because anybody could be that child. Anybody reading or listening to the story could go on that journey of discovery alongside the whale. So I thought we could read a little bit from the story and we could start that journey together. The Tale of the Whale. Where land becomes sky and the sky becomes sea, I first saw the whale and the whale first saw me. And high on the breeze came his sweet-sounding song. I've so much to show you if you'll come along. I scrambled aboard in the silvery light and watched cliff-top houses drift far out of sight. We floated away on the rocking horse sea. I smiled at the whale, and the whale smiled at me. We sailed the blue oceans with turtles and rays, and tail splashed the seagulls in deep water bays. We danced with the dolphins that waltzed through the sea. I laughed with the whale, and the whale laughed with me. I took a deep breath and we dived through the blue, and there, on the bottom, a ship with no crew. We ducked under arches, no treasure to see. I shrugged at the whale, and the whale shrugged at me. We swam over mountains, through valleys of sand, an ocean in motion, a bright, busy land with carpets of colours that breathed with the sea. I watched with the whale, and the whale watched with me. We crashed through the surface. We splashed oh so high. A splutter, a rumble, then whoosh to the sky. I'm flying, I cried to the cold ice-capped sea. I waved to the whale, and the whale waved to me. The whale's tummy rumbled, his mouth opened wide, and half of an ocean was swallowed inside. I stared at the whale as he stared back at me. I understood now what he'd brought me to see. I shall leave it there and let you discover for yourselves what it is that the whale wants to show us. Thank you again to all who were involved in the Spark Children's Book Awards and for choosing The Tale of the Whale on your shortlist. Good luck to all the children involved in choosing from this fabulous selection of books that you now have the chance to discover. Enjoy reading them and talking about them with all your friends and choosing your winners. Happy reading.
Oh, hello. Welcome to my studio. My name's Padmacandra and I'm the illustrator of this amazing story called The Tale of the Whale. And it's written by the very talented author Karen Swann. I was very lucky to be asked to do the pictures for this book, and Karen and I hope that you will read the story and read not only the words but also the picture story. You've probably read quite a lot of picture books, and you might have noticed already that the picture story isn't quite the same always as the word story. If it's a good picture book, there are lots of clues that you can pick up by just looking at the pictures as well as the words. So it was great fun for me to receive the words and then think about how I was going to illustrate the book. And I used two things on the whole. One was my imagination, so I read the words and imagined the journey, and I hope that we will all imagine this journey, diving into this ocean and under the ocean and discovering all these creatures. And I also did research to discover what sort of whale could this be that is so playful and that sings and it seems quite friendly. So I researched different whales and I found out, for example, that there are the two types of whales. So one of the types of whale does the singing, and that type of whale has a different way of eating than the non-singing whale. So the whale that does the singing is called a baleen whale, and it eats through just opening its mouth really wide and kind of sieving all the fish through its mouth. And also, particularly the one that we put in the book, which is a humpback whale, is the most playful whale. So the whales, they leap up out of the ocean, it's amazing, into the air. So this story is about a child just like you who's sitting on the beach and looking out to sea. Perhaps you've been on a beach and looked out to sea, and you just see this huge horizon and you see the surface of the water, and it's quite hard to imagine. I find it hard to imagine what might be underneath the waves. But in this book we get to dive down and see what's underneath the waves. And the child who's been sitting looking out to sea hears the song of the whale and hears the whale singing and goes up a bit higher up to the cliffs to look and see what's going on, and catches the eye of this amazing whale who also sees the child from a distance. And they make a connection, and the whale invites the child to come on a journey, and we hope, Karen and I, that you will go on this journey with the child. And they go and they dive underneath the sea. They go from very warm climates to very cold Arctic climates. They meet polar bears. When you're reading the book, you can do some research on whales and what they do, but you can also use your imagination. You can do some drawing, just like I did, and draw under the sea or draw beach scenes. And we also hope that you will take up the invitation in the book from the whale to listen to the whale's story and try and spread that story. Think about in your classes what you can do to help the whale and to help the sea and to spread the message. So it's not only an adventure story, not only a story of wonder and beauty of the sea, but it's also a quest of how we can help the ocean life. And it's about plastic pollution and how the plastic that we use in our lives can not be helpful for the sea creatures. And I'd like to talk to you as well at some point about how, if you're interested in drawing, how I made the pictures in the whale book, and how you might be able to explore your own creativity and drawing. So there's an awful lot to explore in this book, The Tale of the Whale. We're delighted, Karen and I, and we're very thankful to the Spark organisers that we've been shortlisted for the Spark Awards. So we're very excited, and we're very happy that the message of the whale might be spreading more far and wide. Hope to meet you again, and thanks again to the Spark organisers, and hope to see you in my studio again. Goodbye.